over the place. On Tuesdays is where we hang around and talk about how we're going to change lives. And Senior Choice talks to the ladies, and then the ladies talk and stuff. And, and then Senior Choice talks back to them, and they talk to him again. And then he says something, and then they say something. Yeah. I see me. I was
accurate description.
Hey, here comes Warrior Cat. It's dropped off again. Man, they're having problems there with their internet.
You totally
Hey,
Warrior
it's
Cat.
Warrior Cat. Oh, little pretty.
Hey, hey,
I got to see
hey,
your girl the other day on the stream. She's so beautiful.
Oh, little Ambi.
Yeah, she was
Oh,
having a
it's so
blast.
great to see you guys. I have missed you big time. We have had guests from the UK and US and all sorts of places. So I've not been around for a few weeks, but I've missed you.
Oh, we all missed you too. And same with
Yeah, we
Thursday.
missed you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I heard thunder, and then suddenly
Yeah, everyone froze.
Oh
the
no.
frozen chosen.
Yeah, it's frozen, chosen.
Okay, there we go. Back.
Yes. No, it's so good to have her. But for real, the vibes from the party that you guys had on the Thanksgiving Day was next level. I was so happy to see all the girls having fun and dancing the different songs. It was just so recharging. Like even yesterday, I watched presentations from the school of my kids like for 6 hours in a row. But yeah, the vibes were not the same. Like they do dance because they practice for this show and all, but it's not like the bonds are not the same. It's not family, right? It's like just classmates dancing up to what the teacher told them to dance. It's not like friends having a good time. That's what I saw at your play songs. But yes, family. Today, the topic is really good. It's talking about the ideal childhood. Many of us have gone through that on good or bad ways, but we all get a picture of what we expect it to be, especially us that have kids or want to have kids, kind of start thinking on what does that childhood needs to look like or should be for others. And since we got the blessing of having these wonderful NGO ladies with us every Tuesdays, then I want to pick on their brains and chat about what that ideal childhood should be for everyone, no matter what uh, where they are coming from. So yes, I think that without further ado, I'm gonna start just tossing in the questions in a know. And since B is our co-host today, she's also gonna be doing some commentary and follow-up questions to these ladies because our community demands her
Yay!
voice. So it is what it is. But yeah, the topic is clear now. I think that we can start with the first question. Just like, what is that first image or feeling that you get when you think of that ideal childhood? Like, what do you picture it to be, or what emotion grows in your hearts when you think of an ideal childhood? I think that we can start with Warrior Cat as she's eager and unmuted, and then we pass it around the ladies.
Oh, thanks, Sir Choice. Once again, so wonderful to be here with you all, and great question. The image that comes to my mind when I imagine like an ideal childhood for a little girl is a little girl just closing her eyes and in complete joy, standing in the rain, dancing around, free and safe, and no care in the world. No worry that she doesn't know what maybe her parents have to go through, or and she shouldn't need to. She shouldn't need to worry about the cost that others have had to pay, or the price that they've had to pay, or the cross that they've had to bear. And that is the ideal childhood. She's safe, she's free to dream, she's free to laugh and be happy and think of her future and have these big amazing dreams of what she wants to be, and no care in the world. She knows that she's safe, she knows that she's loved, she knows that she's valued. She believes in who she is. So that's the picture and the image that comes to my mind, where they're not worrying about their next meal or what somebody said about them or lies or doubts or fears. It's just freedom and carefree and joy and laughter, belly laughter, belly laughter from that's deep within. So that's what comes to mind when I think of that.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's exactly what I saw the other day when they were having a party behind Uncle the other day. It's just they are all laughing, hanging like they're all brothers and sisters for a lifetime. No worrying about everything, anything at all. Just, play the next song. We're gonna check it off and dance and enjoy and have a beautiful time. I think that that's what we all want. We don't want them to go through pain or suffering. We just want them to be kids and be innocent and not to be disturbed by all of the heavy things that the world brings. It's like we don't want them to be concerned with, taking care after someone else or looking after their little ones or looking after siblings or helping with heavy duties or even working. Like it's so heartbreaking. Like here, most traffic lights, whenever you stop by, there's always a little one with a little box of bubble gums or candies, and they should be at school, they should be having fun, they should be smiling, but they are just going through difficult situations, struggling, and that's definitely not the childhood that I want them to have. So it's a beautiful image, and I think that we're getting to that part where we are setting up the expectations. Hey, Christy, you managed to come today. Excellent. It's good to have you back.
Hi.
How are you
We
doing?
made a plan.
Yes, we made a plan.
Yes, 2 in 1. That works. That's amazing. So, Christy, for you to follow up then, since you have arrived and we've been missing you ladies for some weeks. I know you were busy with all of the visits and stuff, but we're talking about the ideal childhood. So, Kat already showed us and told us what she would picture as the perfect childhood and how would you expect it to be for any girl or little boy. But how about you, coming from a different background? She's from the UK, you're from the US. What's the perfect childhood to you, and how do you expect it to be?
Um, I think a lot back to my childhood. And there's no perfect childhood, but there's close to it. But I think the biggest thing is having a mom and a dad who both are healthy, emotionally stable is always great, and who just truly love their children. I think when a family has a mom and a dad who are together, love each other, love their children, and are truly trying to do what's best, I think that equates to one of the most perfect childhoods you could ever have, because you can have all the money, you can have all the things, but when your parents are constantly fighting, when your parents are not in agreement with stuff, when you feel rejected by your parents, then that's what you remember in your childhood. And so I know for myself, there's always been ebbs and flows in my family, but I remember my parents loving each other and loving myself and my brother and loving us, and doing the best that they could for us. And looking back and as an adult, I look back and I go, that was a pretty good childhood because I knew I was loved, and I knew I was wanted. So for me, those are two of the biggest things: is knowing you're loved and knowing that you're wanted can make a pretty good childhood. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that for sure. It always makes me think about how uh, the evil in the world is always targeting families and targeting women, the mothers, because they want to break that core that every child needs to develop in a proper way to truly be happy.
Mhm.
And it's essential what you mentioned, like having stable parents that they can look up to and that they feel that they were desired. I had some classmates that went through the hard truth of their parents telling them like, hey, you were not planned, we did not, you were a mistake. I'm like, what did you do to my friend? Like, what did you tell him that every
Yeah.
child should be desired and dream of? Like, I'm happy I can tell my kids we dreamed you, we wanted to have you, so they know
Yeah.
that they really were like having this place where they were expected and welcome to. So it's crucial to have a stable parents at home, and definitely, like not every home is perfect. There's always going to be flaws and ups and downs and times of
Yeah.
conflict, but the most important is that they have that core environment and those two figures that they should always look up to. I think is crucial.
Mm.
Sometimes we see kids that are only raised by single mothers or sometimes single parents. But I think that it would be ideal to always have the two figures. Like you can tell the difference of a child that's been raised only by a mom or only by a father versus the one that had like the two figures to look up to. So love your response there, Christy. I think that it would start leading us to the next question. Maybe I will tackle this one with Amanda and then with Mavis. But it's like talking about these conditions or things that must be like basic for that childhood to be happy, to be um, the proper one for the kids to thrive and to grow into healthy adults. So maybe what other elements aside from the parents that Christy mentioned would you think, Amanda, the little ones need? Like what's that healthy environment that they should be surrounded by to thrive on the proper ways?
Yeah, it definitely starts with the parents, but it stretches out to anybody that comes into contact with your child. And we have a healthy community, as you saw for yourself. So we're blessed that we've all agreed upon on a culture on how we're going to speak to our children and how we don't want our children to be spoken to, kindness being at the root of all of that. And sometimes we want to put our kids into a bubble because to protect them from the world out there and people being mean, but they are exposed to outside events. And so to try and protect them from, like we don't even allow Ahava to sleep out. And now she's reaching that age where she really wants to start sleeping out, But you just never know who's capable of what in any household. What does a predator look like? Like any one of us. What does a trafficker look like? Any one of us. And so just being like super aware of the dangers out there and protecting your child from the dangers. So whether from the possibility of being molested to the possibility of being treated in a way that's going to break them down and create a thread in them where they stop believing in themselves and stop believing that they can do anything and accomplish anything. Like our girls, Amber and all of them were in a play this week, last week, the story of Esther. And it was beautiful, and they were so blessed to be in it, because for them to be in such a huge production with such a nice message, and it was really well put together. But then in the background, they had girls that were being mean to them and telling them your hair's ugly, or I don't want to be your friend, I've got enough friends. Those little things that I think we all know about that were in public schools. And our community is a little bubble. When we go outside of our little bubble, they're exposed to meanness. They can be mean amongst themselves too, but they know how we expect them to treat each other. And if someone steps out of that, then they come to us. This one was mean to me, and then we talk them through it. The person gets the opportunity to apologize. Like our youngest girl in the community, Michelle, is 5. She will immediately say, "I'm sorry, Ahava, I'll do better next time." But 5 minutes later, she might do it again. But we're training them on how to treat each other, and those little things that you were saying earlier, the evil in the world that can get into anyone. It's those little things that create markers on our spirit that can slow our future selves down. As I'm sitting here now, I'm 50 years old, and I'm still rewriting what was written on me by life as a child and growing up. My parents did a great job, but there's certain things they didn't know about being parents and what a daughter would need, emotionally. For instance, my father didn't know how to say I love you because his parents didn't use those words. I didn't feel unloved, but there was no affirmation of love or, physical affection, giving a hug. He hugged me, but it wasn't like a father to a daughter hug. But so it's just those little things along your life that set you up to fail in the future from that you're a child. And so we're trying to prevent that as much as possible, but some of the negative writing will be written on their spirits, even if we put them in a bubble. We even can act or discipline in an unkind manner that makes them feel that we're being mean. So it's a constant work in progress. But just they actually need to be treated only with kindness, never with anger, never with irritation, never with frustration. And that's so the work starts with me. I have to fix me so I can be a better mom, so that Ahava has a better chance at succeeding in life and being confident in who she is.
Amazing, Amanda. I love that. It's indeed like we never stop learning. It's a process that never stops. Like you said it, you're already on your 50s, but you keep polishing yourself daily to become that better mother that's going to lead by example and going to create a proper environment for them. But yes, love and kindness are crucial for that process. I want to pick next on maybes. Maybe what would you add to that healthy environment? You're a mom too. Your girl is beautiful. I also saw her having a blast with the other girls on Thanksgiving, and she's a she's a party girl too, And I could recognize it right away. Like, okay, these are Mavis kids because they share the same smile. So, what do you think that it's necessary for that environment that you give your kids to be a safe one, to be a proper one, so they can have that ideal childhood? Or what are the efforts that you make for it to be special to them?
Uh, Thank you so much, Sir Choice. Hi, everybody. It's always good to be here. Uh, I don't, I don't have much to add because I was just sorry in the background dealing with a little bit of a crisis with kids in a dark house because we don't have electricity and all that, and the storms are storming. So, I'm just gonna try and add a little bit. I'm not sure what Mrs. Funk said. I had some of it, but we try as a community to do as much as we possibly can to raise them right. There is no manual for for right parenting. We make mistakes and all that, but I think the biggest thing is that they feel safe, that they know they have somebody who's going to have their back, who's going to be there for them, who even when they're being difficult. That the funny thing that I've realized is kids are not really ever that difficult with a person that they don't trust. A person that they trust, that they feel safe with, is where they kind of usually act out on. But the biggest thing for me would be that they feel safe and they feel loved. And sometimes you might not be able to give them all they would dream of as a child. They have wild dreams. But as long as they feel safe and loved, and you're doing everything in your power, and they have parents and co-parents, like we have a community, I think, yeah, that's a beautiful foundation. Thank you, Sir Joyce.
Thanks to you, Mavis. Love it. It's indeed like love. It's basic, and yeah, there is no manual for it. Like no matter how you prepare for it, you're never prepared to be like the proper father, proper mother. It's always a working process. You shape yourself daily. You keep working on becoming that better version of yourself so that they can get the best of you daily, and it just never ends. And sometimes are the kids the one teaching you life lessons and explaining you, teaching you about life, things that you you wouldn't understand when you're another father, when you're another mother. Like uh, the connection becomes stronger, and it's just a beautiful process. I think that you're hitting into the spot. It's loved. It's giving them that safe place where they, even though you cannot accomplish all of their dreams, because it's truth, sometimes we don't have all the financial power even though sometimes we dream or wish that we could give them everything that they want. It's also maybe not the right thing to do. Here, I grew up with this sentence, with this phrase that my father taught me when I was on my teen uh, age. So he said, when you raise your kids as rich, spoiled ones, they'll be poor in their hearts. And when you reach your kids, humble and grateful, like poor kids, they might not have financial power at the start, but they're gonna be rich of hearts and souls, right? So it's not the financial situation that marks what they're gonna be like, but sometimes like spoiling them too much and just giving them everything that they want is not truly the way, because sometimes you give them all of the toys that they want, and after a few days they don't even play with them anymore. And when you think about, there are so many kids that would even like die to have a single toy, and they will play with it daily, but they just don't have it. So gratitude and the way that we teach things to them, it's all crucial. Like it's things that we keep adding to the equation on a daily basis, and we keep learning as we go. Now I know B's got some follow-up questions too, and some comments on what we've been speaking about so far. So B, microphone is yours.
Hi, everyone. So, we've talked about what would make them feel safe and loved, but what are the moments or conditions that create a truly happy childhood? So, what is it that they will remember or what will stay with them? I'm not sure who to ask first. Because Christy's gone, hasn't she?
No,
I'm
Oh,
here.
she's
Hi.
here. She's with Kat. Hey, Christy. Shall we
Hey,
come to you?
yeah, will you repeat the question one more time for me, though?
Sure. What are the moments or conditions that create a truly happy childhood?
Moments or conditions? A good question. Thanks for coming to me first. Appreciate that.
safety.
Safety. I think, no, you're
Yeah.
right. Safety is a huge one. If you can feel safe
Love.
and loved, then you'll open up to those around you. And just like Mrs. Funk or Mavis said about community, I think it's important to have that community around you, and you will feel that safety to be able to go to those. Maybe sometimes you feel like you can't go to your mom or your dad, or maybe one of them is not in the picture, but you need that other person. Then I feel like when you have that, you can truly be who you need to be and who you are. I really don't know if I'm answering that question.
No, that's
I
true.
did. I said B.
B, can I just add, it's
Kat's
very
gonna add.
important, just as you were asking the question before, the reason Christy had to get you to say it again is because she said, I wish B could just read me a bedtime story every night. So she wasn't listening to what you were
I was
saying.
listening to your accent.
She was listening to your angelic, beautiful B voice. And I thought that was fun.
Love it. No,
Yes,
but
I
you're
have
on
the camera.
Now you
And
answered the question.
I'm just going
Go
to add
for
on
it,
there.
Kat.
No, I love that. I think safety, and I think love. I once I was doing a course, a parenting course, and we were talking about things that children really need. And it was one of the things they said was a sense of significance and a sense of belonging. So like knowing they belong
Yeah.
somewhere, they have somewhere to be, and they have somewhere that they are wanted, and they have like a place and a purpose, and that sense of significance, like knowing that they bring a difference, even if it's a tiny and small difference. They bring something to that family or to that community or that that place that they're part of, as well. So I think, yeah, just to add on to what you said before. Beautiful.
absolutely. Thank you for that. I mean, a lot of it is them feeling heard. So if we're there and we're actively listening, and in that they feel safe, in that they feel that they can come to somebody and they will be listened to. So I think that's super important.
Yes, beautiful.
Thank you.
I love
You're
it.
welcome.
And I'm glad that Kat and Christy discovered the problem that we discovered with Onks some time ago. It's dangerous to be on the stage because then people will forget about the topic. They'll just be listening to the book.
Listen, between her and Mr. Console, like nobody can just do anything and you just listen to them. Like
Yeah.
they could just talk to each other all night and we would just be like, ooh, ah.
Love it. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna go with the follow-up question then, and it's we've been picturing the idea of what that ideal childhood is. We understand what we want it to be. We know we want our kids to be loved, to be surrounded by a safe environment, to have both their father and their mother looking up to them, to feel that they were, desired, they have this place that they can belong to. But the reality is that when we talk about the work that we're doing through the NGO, most of the kids that get to the camps are missing many, if not all of these parts altogether. So when a girl did not receive these things, when they did not receive that feeling of, hey, you were desired, you were wanted, you have a safe home here, you have your father and your mother to look up to you, to advise you, to support you, to love you the proper way, to make you feel safe. They are missing all of those parts. So how do you begin to help or rebuild what was missing in all of these kids? And I'm maybe gonna go with Amanda to tackle this one, as she's one of the first starting the movement with the Overcomers and the NGO. So, when all of these ingredients of the ideal childhood were missing, how do you start that process of rebuilding that child into a child that can be happy and thrive in life?
Well, we create a very fun environment first off. So we have fun with them. They arrive, we love them, we hug them, we learn their names, we treat them as if they were our own children when they're here. So that when they're here, they're getting what they don't get at home. And then slowly but surely they start to trust us. But it really is the way that we make them feel, because we're loving them, we're feeding them, we're hugging them, we laughing with them, we're playing games with them, we sharing life skills with them, we worshiping with them. It's all those interactions, that makes them want more, and opens them up to trust us again, and or to trust us to share their lives with us. And then from there we can help guide them to a path of healing.
I can only imagine how difficult it is for the kids to have to go back home once they trust you, once they see that you treat them as their own, and they identify that you become their safe place, that you became that happiness and joy that they were missing at home. And then they have to go back to this reality of, we are no longer in the camps, we're no longer in the NGO, we're back at home where we can no longer be kids, where we have to be responsible for our grandma or grandpa or our little siblings, or we gotta go to work or do all the crazy stuff. So it's painful just to think of it. I can't wait until we can make it like a temporary home for them. So once they feel
Yes.
safe and they are happy there, they just stay there. They don't have to go back home again. Only that when they actually want to go visit their families or such, but they know that they can. And I think that the fun is part is crucial. Like it's the best way for a kid to learn is through gameplay, is through enjoying things, is through jumping into the pool, is through laughter, is through sharing those meaningful moments with other kids their age, that they can truly, develop on the proper ways. But I'm so thankful and grateful for all the efforts that you ladies have been making, and getting to the point where you make them feel safe, and when you make a kid trust you even though you are not blood related, is just beautiful. But yes, I think that these acts of love that you were mentioning are pretty important. Hugging them, treating them as if they were your own. It's something that's already gonna be life changing for them. It's giving them that safe place. So now to follow up, I think that maybe it's dropped the electricity problem, but to follow up with you ladies is, when we understand the acts of love that they need to thrive, but what do you wish that maybe other parents or the parents of these kids understood or knew so that they could follow up with the works that you're making on the NGO. So you got all the efforts that you ladies are making, your preparation and everything, but their parents at home maybe don't have the guidance or the instructions. So is there a follow-up process with their families so they can continue with that process, or is it just they are living the dream when they are in the NGO, but once they get back home, it's just like back to the harsh reality? How is that process between the parents, and maybe what do you wish that their parents or tutors or the ones responsible for them would know and understand so they can continue to make these kids thrive through a healthy childhood? I think that we can go with Warrior Cat.
Oh, thank you, Sir Choice. Great question. So to answer it in two different parts, firstly, that the parents are always, invited along to not the camps and such, but other sessions and services and other events and things like that. They're always welcome. And what we teach, we would love to be able to share with them and for them to be part of as well. A lot of the parents don't come either because they're working, because they don't care, because they have addiction problems, whatever the case may be. So we don't want that to stop us. So we want it to be a place of love and safety and fun for those kids to come, to break out of that negative environment sometimes, where it shows them that it doesn't have to be one way just because that's the way they've always known it. And so but when parents get on board, and there are some who get on board, we absolutely love it, because they want to come and they want to be part of something. They then get involved in helping. They become some of the kitchen hands on Mavis's team on camps, or they'll come and be part of like safety and security, or watching the pool when we're on the camps, just to make sure that it's safe, and helping with lifts and all of that. So when they get on board, it's amazing to see. And I think I'm just thinking of the second part of your question. What would we love them to know? I, for one, would love them to know that every word that they speak to their child, every tone of voice, it has an impact. I think so often you think, well, I've done this right and I've done that right, so I can make many mistakes. And it's true, we can all make mistakes, and there's grace. And our children, they want to love us. They want us to be in their lives. But every word, every negative tone of voice, every negative word spoken can have such an impact on that little life. What's written on their little spirit, what's written on their heart. And I wish, that's something I wish I knew as a young mum, when I used to get so frustrated with Joel and Amber when they were much smaller. And, I would have this temper, and I would lose my temper really easily. And I would say things that I did not mean, but, you get frustrated, and you're working, and you're tired, and you just, you say things, and your child might not always remember exactly what was said, but they remember how it made them feel. And those, we make our values, between the ages of 4 and 14, it's like we learn what we believe about ourselves, what our values are, what we think we're worth. We make some of the most critical and important decisions on those in those years. And so I wish that parents would take that really seriously and to heart, and to go, it's okay if I get it wrong, but let me say sorry if I get it wrong. Let me admit that I make mistakes. One of my favorite subjects to talk about is transactional love, where it's like conditional. So you have to do something for me, and then you'll get something from me. And we live in a very transactional, loving world. And I think it's so difficult when that's what our kids are learning, because if a parent, without meaning to, makes their child feel like they have to do something in order to be loved, then that child, that little girl, can grow up to think, okay, well, my parents taught me this, so I must have to do this even for a boy. I have to give him something if he's going to love me. I have to do this for him in order to make him love me. I have to do this for my boss in order to make them accept me. I have to do something. So it teaches us from a very young age that we have to earn or deserve love somehow. When God teaches us the absolute opposite, where it's unconditional, where we don't have to do anything special, when we don't have to earn it or deserve it, where we are loved regardless. And I think if we could teach our parents to show their kids unconditional love and treat them with that kindness, our world would be a completely different place.
I love it, Warrior Cat. Amazing points in there. Yes, it's indeed, love needs to be unconditional. We should not be like transacting with it because we're teaching them the wrong ways. And sometimes it's our actions, not just our words. Makes Only Beats was stating on the chat that, the tone of voice is difficult to change and to deal with. I face it too, But what I do with my kids is when I have the father tone that sounds a little bit like upset, but it's not upset. What I tell them is, look, I talk to you that way because I need you to understand that I love you, and that there is this trust between you and me and this friendship between you and me, that I talk to you in this way because I care for you. Like if I would not even talk to you, or just talk like if the world was made of butterflies, I would be probably doing it wrong. I don't know if I'm excusing myself, but I just try to let them know that when I talk to them on that low tone, it's because I care for them, and I've gone through things thanks to experience and the years of life that they haven't got to, that I want to transmit to them. But it's indeed a very difficult thing to deal with and to handle. Is controlling our tone of voice. But yes, explaining them like Makes Only Beats stated to, it's basic and it's crucial. Like to let them know that sometimes even as parents we have this bossy tone. It doesn't mean that we're just talking or stating something negative towards them. Sometimes that we care so much that we have to say it in a tone that will stay with them forever. Like they will not forget what you're teaching them at that moment. Yeah, I think this is one of the challenges that I myself face as a father, right? Like keeping that friendly tone of voice. I'm always respectful towards them. I never use any foul language, but sometimes I do get the tone where they know, okay, father's speaking with the tone. We have to listen, yes or yes. And I think it's just part of my journey, at least my personal journey. But for sure, the things that we tell our kids, they stuck to them. And these ages that you mentioned are definitely crucial, like 4 to 14. And the fact that you mentioned that sometimes as parents we need to learn and recognize how to say sorry. This is something that a lot of parents will never accept or tolerate. Like they would never realize that they have to say sorry to their kids when they make a mistake, because they in their head somehow imagine or believe that they're the parents and therefore they're always right, and that's just wrong. Sometimes when you make a mistake, even if it's you the parent towards your child, you need to acknowledge that you need to make it up for them. You need to, because that's also teaching them how to understand that nobody's perfect, and that you as a parent can make mistakes too, and that you as a parent can say sorry too. So sometimes could be through emotion that you just lost control, or you did something that you didn't want to do, or said something that you didn't want to say. Get to those kids, give them a hug, and tell them, hey, look, I'm sorry I said it this way. What I meant was this or that, because that's going to be life changing for them. And many of them need it. So put that pride aside, put that ideas of I am the parent, I'm always right on the side too, and know that your child needs to learn that you can also say sorry, that you can also make mistakes, because you yourself, Mark, you're not perfect either. So I love the points raised so far, Warrior Cat. B, I'm gonna pass it to you. You can follow up. I'm glad we got Mavis back, so maybe you can throw her one question.
Yeah, sure. So I guess these girls, these children, they come from sort of trauma or very difficult lives, and when they spend time with you, when they have relationships with you, you learn so much about them. So I wonder, Mavis, if you could share a moment when one of the girls experienced something normal for the first time when they were with you, and it really touched your heart.
Oh my. Thank you for curveball. Ah, all right. I'm trying to find an isolated event. Mm, all right. The quickest thing that I've just thought of is just watching them watch a child enjoy a starter, a main meal, and a dessert, and them not believing what's in front of them, and seeing them like look at you, glance back and forth, like, am I the one who you are really giving this food to? Because now the homes that they come from, yes, some are fine, but some, there's not even a hot meal, let alone a healthy meal, let alone a dessert for them after a meal. So just them experiencing that and seeing the disbelief and yet the happiness that just that meal brings to that child or to that girl or to that boy, it's priceless. And it's also heartbreaking because you know what they're going back to. Yeah.
Wow, thank you, Mavis. That's so profound, isn't it? Something so simple, something we take for granted that makes a massive difference to them. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing.
Lovely, thank you so much. Okay, I think that we gotta pick on Mrs. Funk too, because she's the next in the line. Like she's been chased for more than 50 years now. You know, she was talking about all the things that she's learning and dealing with through her years, and she's still being chased by this man. By the way, we also shared us some comments from his feverish chat. Anx was saying that the kids, the greatest gifts that you can give them is a good set of values. I 100% can echo that. Like values, it's just crucial. They are the tools that are going to let them thrive through life. But then he also said the ability to put bullies in hospitals without being caught. I agree with it. I have my kids on martial arts. They go to their classes 3 times a week. They've already done that successfully. I let them know that they got their father to look after them. And I think that's also good, it's because sometimes my little one, she was being bullied at school, Farah. And then my wife told her, you know what? You know your martial arts. If this girl is going to bully you again, first you talk. Then you talk with your teacher. If these two ways did not work, then you know what to do next. And then the flying kick came in, and then she was so nervous, like, but they're gonna call you, and the principal said they're gonna speak with my parents. I said, don't worry, you did right. You did what you were taught. So we got your back. And she was like, now nobody's bullying her. Nobody messes up with her because they know what they're going to get. And she knows that she's going to get the support. So, look, I don't care if it's going to be the president of the nation, if it's going to be the principal, or whoever is going to call. If you follow the steps and you were being bullied, you did right, and I got your back. And then she feels now untouchable, and I love it because she feels like she can do the things on her ways being safe, and she knows she's not going to be bullied. So I think that Anx was through his laughter was on point. You need to teach them how to learn to protect themselves from these bullies and how to thrive on these environments. By the way, welcome back, Midnight Cats Lady. I hope that the kids enjoyed lunch. But yes, Amanda, the follow-up question was, how does giving a girl this even one moment of happiness is helping her on the healing process? Like, this is what you do daily on the NGO. You create safe spaces, safe environments with love, with fun, with joy. They get to party, they get to dance, they get to swim on the pool. You got these uh, machines, these inflables, I don't know the name in English,
Inflatables.
inflatable things that they can jump on and have fun with. How do you think that this marks their growth process, the healing process, and how do you expect to make that difference even more meaningful? So when they come over, they really get that impact that is not just going to last through the camp, but hopefully through life.
I think all those events create hope. Now, every time they're able to break away and come and have fun with us, they have hope of their future looking brighter. Because when they're constantly in that poverty environment where they have no bed, no food, they walk to school barefoot, no jackets in winter. So that's why Cole and Kathy have such an amazing ministry called Overflow. They give jackets. So as a team we do it together, but we give jackets out. And next year that jacket will be too small for that child again, and they'll need another jacket. But so whether it's a jacket, a food parcel, a hot meal at the camp, the fun, it all creates little havens of hope, and it gives them a bird's eye view into what their future can be permanently, because they're not in that poverty cycle consistently thinking this is my life. So it's breaking that mindset of poverty just by showing them that something else exists.
That's amazing, Amanda. I love it because for me, I've always considered hope to be fuel for dreams. Like you can only truly be a dreamer and imagine what your future's gonna be like when you have hope. Without hope, like the dreams will not go nowhere. There's no outcome for them. You cannot visualize them. You cannot even imagine what's gonna be like. You need to have hope to be able to fuel your dreams. Once you have hope, then you can dream big. You can visualize what you want to be, where you want to be, and for sure you can start cutting off this cycle of poverty where you understand, okay, this is the past or the present that I'm dealing with, but that doesn't necessarily have to be my future. I can hope for something different. I understand now that there's a different reality where I can project myself and become what I want to become, and not just be what I was, quote unquote, born to be, or to stay where I was born. I can break through and become something much more, something more meaningful. I can be the change that I want to see. And that's why we start seeing many of the kids that maybe already went through the process and have grown up to adults to come back and help other little ones or to get involved in one way or another because of that hope that was planted in their hearts when they went there and when they saw that the reality can be a different one. So I just love what we are doing with the NGO. I'm so grateful for you ladies coming in every week, and I just pray that we're gonna find ways to fund more what we're doing and just make it even better, and not just there in South Africa but in different places across the globe, because the little ones need help, not just that but worldwide. Like it's so many places where they are unprotected, unsafe. Like even in the US you might say, oh, but the US is like one of the most developed countries and it's setting the standards. No, it's one of the countries where the most kids go missing to, like the kidnapping rates and the horrible things that they do with these little ones over there is insane. Like when you understand the mechanics and the way the world works, and I think Angst touched upon it at some point in his life when he was getting into the Hollywood circles, and the things that the realities that we have to face that many people in the world still sleeping on, that the practices of these elites or people that is in charge of so much power, financial power, mediatic power, where they control the narratives, where they start, pushing agendas, when they start manipulating the whole world population, but behind the curtains are doing the most horrible stuff and keeping everybody blindfolded as to what's happening. Now, I think that my follow-up question would be in terms of what are the efforts coming from the NGO to keep raising that awareness, to keep unfolding the eyes of people across the globe so that they understand what we're facing, what we're fighting up against, all of the, the evil that is coming towards our the little ones that are innocent and unprotected, and that for sure don't know how to protect themselves at such early ages and need adults to be looking up to them. They need guardians to be safe from the things that are happening in this world. And yet there are so many parents that are still so careless and don't wake up yet to the reality of the evil that is chasing these little ones. Like Halloween parties. Like I never take my kids out on Halloween. We got them to experience within the customs when they were little, but always with us because we know the things that happen on these days and what the evils the evil people is after. The rituals that are happening, the type of candies that they're giving them to drug them and then just take them away, and they take advantage of these predators, these evil people. They're wearing their masks, and nobody's going to identify them. They just can grab a kid and run away, and nobody's going to know if they were the parents or not. So what are the efforts coming from the NGO to keep raising awareness, to keep opening the eyes of the adults, of the parents, so they can be part of that? Let's keep our children safe. Let's give them the childhood that they need to have.
Mavis, would you like to handle that from a social media standpoint?
Yes, yes. So we try our level best to raise awareness on social media. So we have Operation Safe Place accounts on a lot of social media platforms to just raise awareness of people, just reminding them that human trafficking exists, and we need to be mindful. So we don't just end there. We don't just end on social media. From the events that we attend, we get invited and we speak. We raise awareness in schools with the children that we work with, and word of mouth. Like people just trying to talk about human trafficking and children more than just this thing that people have managed to do, to be oblivious, to pretend it's not there. Like everybody knows it's there, but pretend it's not really there. So we do our level best to raise awareness on social media, word of mouth, at events, wherever we get invited, we go, we speak about it. Yeah, that's mostly what I can think of now. I'm sure we do more than that.
Babies, if you allow me, I would love to listen maybe to a little bit of what a speech looks like when you're raising awareness and all of these conferences that you and Mrs. Fong get invited to. Maybe would you give us a showcase or a little showcase of what it looks like when you're raising awareness, when you're waking up people and masses and opening eyes to the reality as to the things that we have to face and fight, and maybe to raise some awareness within our community and maybe the parents that could be still unaware of all of the evil, which I think that our community is already pretty aware of. But just for the sake of maybe getting some of the way that you drop it on these conferences, can help us with a sneak peek into what the speech looks like when you are attending these conferences?
All right, so I will try and do a little bit of justice. I'm not
Thank
sure
you.
if I will, but so we speak about online dangers. Like if families have, lately children have devices. Most children have devices, but the question is, are the parents paying attention enough to know what's going on their children's devices? On the teenagers, with teenagers, we usually speak about, do you know who your friends are on social media? Yet you're posting your life there, tagging your friends, your geolocation. And geolocation, many people don't even know that it's a thing. Like when you take a photo and post it on Facebook, and then it tags where you are, your live location. And sometimes people don't know that their camera has its location on, and that automatically puts your photo that you've taken on social media with the geolocation, with exactly where you took that photo. So predators can easily just look through your social media, look at your photos, your geolocation, or look at your backgrounds, the photos that you've been taking, whoever you've been tagging, and they can kind of create a map and know where to find you and when to find you where, which is not really safe. So you want to have your geolocation off. And also, what does a human trafficker look like? What does a person who abducts children look like? They look like you and me, say choice. They look like every other normal person, and they are paid massively. They are paid huge amounts of money, and they can afford to look good, to drive expensive cars. So there is not really a picture that you can say, oh, this is the person who's capable of trafficking or abducting a child. Anyone can do that. And we also try and raise awareness on being aware of your surroundings, whether you're driving or you're walking or you taking your child to school. Just being aware, is there somebody following you? Is there somebody who looks suspicious the way they're walking? Is there somebody who is like regularly where they're not supposed to be? Just being aware of your surroundings helps as well, whether you're a woman or a man. And unfortunately, many women are oblivious, and like young adults, youth, children, they're oblivious to their surroundings. They're usually glued on a phone while walking down the street, which is not very good for you, because you won't even realize if somebody comes behind you and takes you. And the other things like phishing on social media or just on your bank accounts or on your phone, like people can hack you. They can they can easily just send you an email address. You click on it and the link just takes you into the wrong place, and they have all your information. So it's stuff like that that people need to be aware of, that we all need to be aware of, that it's there, it exists. We need to pay attention to what are we clicking, what are we opening, what are we saying yes to, what those random emails that we subscribe to, things that we subscribe to, we don't even know what companies they are. We need to pay more attention to who we are befriending, whether on Facebook or on TikTok, on our social media platforms, and the things that we're responding to, whether it's an email or just a message from a number you don't know, or it's a WhatsApp. So there is quite a lot of information, and we do series right now. We're doing a series on online dangers, so it's different topics that we're posting weekly with a video of just reminding people to be careful. So I hope I've spoke about quite a few things that we raise awareness on.
Yeah, that was amazing. Mavis, thank you so much. I love it. I mean, you covered a lot of points. I think that even us as adults sometimes are not safe from the online dangers. Like, look, we've even got unks hacked by these horrible people, these evil scammers that they don't care who the target is. So if us as adults are vulnerable in this digital world, imagine the little ones. So 100%, we need to be really careful on what our kids are watching, consuming, who they are chatting with, and try to be as present as possible so we can truly keep them safe. Because, like you said, predators could look like you and me. And like we also have this policy at home. I think that pretty much like Amanda and Uncle, we don't we want our kids to be inside this safe bubble. Like our girl also wants to go have a sleepover, a PJ party at some friend's house. We're like, I'm sorry, but no, because we don't know who that family is. We don't know who that member of that family could be that's gonna end up doing something bad. But we can only go as far as we can with our own tools. But what you're doing of raising awareness and letting others know about what's happening in this world is crucial to keep everyone safe. And if they only know how deep this goes, this is just insane. And I love Midnight Cat's lady was stating in the chat. Most people doesn't really care until it happens to them. Most people doesn't really believe until it happens to them. So don't wait until you become the victim to realize what you have to protect your kids up against, because we're fighting pure evil. Like people that's got no heart, that only because they got money on their table they could take a life, and they don't care what's going to happen with that life no more. And we need that level of awareness, because the things that they would do to our kids are horrible, to the points that I've heard stories of parents that they say, I would rather get the news that my kid was killed over the news that my kid was just kidnapped and God knows what's happening next to him or her. So it's just the cruel reality, and we need to be aware too that these dangers are not coming in the shape of the the homeless guy that looks suspicious and that stinks or has his bad odor smell, right? No, it's not that the one that's gonna be harming. Sometimes they could come on the most expensive trucks, the last model car, and they could just tell your kids, "Hey, come, let's go have a ride. Would you like to try my car? Would you like to see what it feels like?" And then that's the last time that you'll get to see them. So it's horrible. The evil comes on all shapes and forms, and sometimes they are dressed as good, they're dressed as the rich, they're dressed as the polite, and they are not. So let's keep our kids safe. B, would you have a follow-up questions for the ladies?
Yeah, sure. So what happens is when these children, when these girls come to you in this safe environment, you can create moments of happiness, moments of joy. So how does giving a girl even one moment of happiness help her healing, do you think? Shall we go to maybe Kat?
Unks, if you're around, I think that
Yeah.
you have the powers to bring Warrior Cat back in the
Or is
stage. I
she
think.
is she dropped off?
Yeah, she's down on the stage, but Uncle can bring her back. There you go.
There
Warrior
she
Cat is
is.
back.
Yeah, cat.
Hello.
Hey
I was
Kat, did you say?
I was just
Did you-
chilling out in the backstage, checking, watching you all. B, I'm sorry, just repeat the last part of that
Sure.
question, please.
Sure. So we create this safe space when we bring the children in, and we, create moments of happiness and joy. But how do you think giving a girl even one moment of happiness helps with her healing?
So I think the best way that I could explain this is, do you know that Japanese art form where something breaks and then they use something called kunzukuri, which is to use gold in between to fill in the gaps so that they can actually make it like whole again. So say like a bowl breaks open and then to put it back together, they actually put it back together with gold. So it actually makes it not only stronger than it was before, but actually like has some real beauty and character to it. And I think every moment of love and kindness and safety, and for those girls and boys, any children, to be able to dream again and to be able to just heal a little part of themselves, I feel like it's healing them and making them even stronger at the same time, because it's healing those broken parts, but also helping them to go, I don't want the same thing to happen to anyone else, so I'm going to make sure that I don't follow just because of how somebody else treated me. I'm going to make sure that I don't do the same to my children or my children's children or other people around me. And so I think when people learn, as they start healing, as they feel loved, as they feel valued again, or maybe for the first time, and they actually know, oh, this is who I am. This is what it was meant to be like all along, but I didn't have it that way. And when true healing starts to form, because they find that sense of, that significance and that value and that love and that sense of family, I think it's like they're not just shallow. They deep, character-filled people, because they've been through such a journey. And the truth is that I don't know anyone who would want to go to a counselor or a psychologist who'd never been through anything. Like, I don't know of anyone who would want to go and talk to someone that had never been through any hardship or who'd never been through any like life-building experience that has been painful. Because if I was laying out my whole life of issues and pain and hurt, and somebody had never been through something, I wouldn't think that they could understand. I wouldn't think that they could give me any advice or any guidance in anything, because I'd think, well, what do you know about what I've been through? But when somebody's been through pain and suffering and hurting, and they come to a place of healing, that gives them not only that wholeness, but the ability to help others through their hurt and their pain and their suffering. And we all go through these different walks, and not everybody is going to be able to connect to me or listen to me because I might not understand, and not everybody might be able to connect with you and listen to you because you might not understand, but somebody out there is going to be able to connect and heal and learn from and change and be loved. And so we all go through these things and these hurts and these pains, but actually in that, finding that real love and that healing, that actually grows us. And we have those characters that are people that we want to be around, people filled with honor and integrity, and people who can really make you feel loved, and they know what they're talking about, and they've experienced stuff and been through a walk in life and have been through a journey that you can really relate to or learn from. So sorry, I don't know if I really
No,
answered that question
that
fully,
was
but there you go.
brilliant. Yeah, no, that was brilliant, Kat. I love how you likened it to the Kintsugi bowl, because the cracks in that bowl show that they have been through things, but what you're doing is you're honoring the experiences that they've had. You're not trying to make them forget. You're saying from this you can become stronger, and in that is healing. So I think that was beautiful.
Yeah, I loved it too. Plus, I love the fact that you're recognizing something that I don't know how to say. Maybe Jason is back. Maybe he can help me translate it. But we have a saying in Spanish that aquel que cae y se levanta es más fuerte que el que nunca ha caído. How would you put that in English?
He who falls and it's technically he who falls and gets back up is stronger than he who has never fallen.
That's
Love
it.
that.
So it's like, it's the mistakes, the failures that build your strength. And the failure is not just a failure, it's experience that's going to get you stronger because now you know how to overcome that pain or that heavy experience. So, yeah, it's just a beautiful phrase. And I think that you sum it up in an amazing way. Thank you so much, Warrior Cat. We only got 4 minutes left, so I can't believe it. Like, time always flies when you're having a good conversation. But I do have one maybe final question that I want to touch upon all of you. It's if you could give every girl one gift from your own ideal childhood, what would you choose on? Like, for me, I think that I would go with what Christy was mentioning earlier, and I think that this is something that I fight daily for: is giving them the blessing of having both mom and dad stable and around and supportive. So for me, would be present parents, loving parents. But from each of you ladies, what would be that gift from your ideal childhood that you would like to gift upon all of the other little girls around the globe or little boys around the globe? What would be that gift that you would pick to give to other kids? And maybe we can start with Mavis, then we pass it to Amanda, and we can wrap it up with Kat.
Thank you, Sir Joyce. I think the same thing that you just thought of, but also for me, it will be safety, a home to go back to after school, where there's just love in that household. Yeah.
Amazing, Mavis. How about you, Amanda? If you could pick one thing from your ideal childhood, from that perfect childhood dream, what would you pick to give to the children that are around you?
I'm going to quote Mother Teresa, who was well known for her good deeds. She said, "Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love." And my mother truly knew how to love. She was this intentional, caring, loving woman. And that's what a little girl needs, is her mother more than the father. And I would wish that for them, those safe arms to fall into when the world feels like it's crumbling.
Amazing, Amanda. Thank you so much for that. And from you, Warrior Cat, what will be that one gift that you would like to pass on to the children around you?
I would love every child to know that they are more loved than they could possibly imagine by a God who made them for a purpose, and made them fearfully and wonderfully and perfectly, and that they are so valued and loved. And that's who their identity should be. And so I'd want to give them that gift of knowing their full identity.
Amazing, Warrior Cat. Alrighty, ladies, I'm gonna be always respectful of your times. I know that you have compromises and things to attend to, but I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and thank you, B, for being in the stage too and helping with the questions. You ladies always bring so much knowledge, so much awareness, and it's just so great to hang out with you, to chat, and to keep dropping all of these bombs and knowledge that our community is absorbing, because they get to understand that we're building with purpose. They get to understand that what we're doing here is literally changing lives, and that's what we're here for, and that's what we're gonna stay doing. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna stay around regardless of market conditions. We're gonna show up. We're gonna keep building, and we're gonna materialize our dreams. It's just a matter of time, but we're getting closer to it. So thank you so much for always giving us this a blessing of bringing your presence every Tuesday, bringing your experiences, your wisdom, your beautiful words. You're all very appreciated, and you're always the heart of our community. So thank you so much for making it. Happy to have Christy and Warrior Cat back again this week. Hope we can see you next week as well.
Yay. Thank you so much, Sir Choice. Thank you. It's always a pleasure and an honor. Thank you, B, for co-hosting so beautifully. We love you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye,
Thank you, ladies.
everybody.
Thank you, Sir Joyce. Bye, everybody. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Once a girl with a fire inside, now she leads where the spirit guides. From the camps to the city lights, she's a keeper of hearts shining bright. Her voice still carries that holy flame. Same you she once was, now they call her name. She says, every girl saved, every soul free, marching for love and eternity. She's Warrior Cat, drums of heaven where her footsteps at, hands up high. She's raising praise, dancing for the one who saves. Every clap, every cry, every song she sings echoes through the kingdom. Let the freedom ring. Warrior Cat, fire in her heart. Warrior Cat, doing her part. Warrior Cat, married to Jack, two lights at her side. They laugh and pray with love as their guide. Every youth she touches finds new grace, because she listens when the Spirit says wait. She's not afraid of the storm or the fight. Her worship turns darkness to light. Through every trial she stands tall, because Jesus in her conquers all. Who will rise when the battle begins? Warrior Cat, born to win. Yeah. Who will fight for every girl's soul? Warrior Cat, make the broken whole. What's her song in the midnight hour? Holy Spirit, give us power. Warrior Cat, drums of grace, footsteps thunder heaven's pace. Keep the daughters, guard the flame, lift his banner, praise his name. Every storm shakes the ground, every hand clap heaven's sound. Warrior Cat, fearless and free, marching on in victory. Warrior Cat, Warrior Cat, Warrior Cat, Warrior Cat.
The Funk Show is where the zealots of the cult of awesomeness gather for their daily dose of funkadelic indoctrination. Studies have shown that exposure to the fungites can produce allergic reactions in potty mouth, poop nostrils, scammers, and bottom-feeding Bantha poodoo poopy heads.
Hey, it's me, B, and you're listening to The Funk Show. Here, we don't want Bantha Buru, and poop nostrils and poopy heads need not apply.
From Bogota, smile that never tires. On Google Meet, from dawn to dusk, the man sets hearts on fire. Spreads good vibes through every call. The people all rejoice. From the Citadel to every block, we follow senior choice. Community rising, can you feel that sound? Bassline pumping, the heartbeat of the crowd. From gamers to dreamers, he keeps us all aligned. When choice is speaking, the groove's divine. Sing with crowd chant. No choice but choice if you want your community to have a voice. Have a voice. No choice but choice. Turn it up, make noise. From Colombia to the Citadel, we rejoice. We rejoice. We rejoice. Yeah. No choice but choice if you want your community to have a voice. Have a voice. Have a voice. Have a voice. Sing, wave, drop, check. Have a voice. Running real life gaming nights, joy in every frame. Handshakes, laughter, lights, communities this game. From token chats to open mics, he keeps the vibe alive. A legend in the making, Senor Choice. We thrive. He believes in people, he believes in us. Bring the world together, yeah, that's his trust. From coffee cups to digital love, we rise as one voice. Oh, because of Senor Choice. No choice but choice if you want your community to have a voice. Have a voice. No choice but choice. Turn it up, make noise. From Colombia to the Citadel, we rejoice. We rejoice. Yeah. No choice but choice if you want your community to have a voice. Have a voice. Have a voice. Have a voice. Have a voice.
Excellent choice.
My X thing here. I just realized that Vin Diesel's Triple X series is basically a documentary on the Solana Bros' wildest fantasies.
Are you still stuck on that from our conversation earlier, dude?
Yes.
Just because you got confused with fantasy football.
Yeah, no, let's not discuss that on today. These Solana bros are funny. I could have someone to pick on.
I mean, there's no shortage, to be honest. That space was fun choice.
It was. I couldn't help it but to vent. I had to let it out. I mean,
Dude, I'm gonna have to teach you how to vent with anger. You're even when you're venting, you're so friendly. It's not even just polite. You kind of just want to, buy him a coffee and sit down and chat with him.
Yeah, passive aggressive kind. Well, okay, so let me end the stream for all the other platforms so that we can gossip here on Arena Social.
let's go.
Tea time.
Hey, there's Oxcore. What up, Oxcore? Love you all on all the other platforms. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. Don't eat